Hi, this is what you're looking at with another video. I've decided to do the gearbox video second. That way I can put it back together, and then the third video just me putting the gun back together, or the assembly. So I'm gonna go ahead here, open up the gearbox, and hope you enjoy the video. Okay, seeing that this is a unique gearbox, this is pretty much only seen on saws like Classic Army, Echo 1, and this A&K. They have a special feature on the back. You push the you push this latch right here. You push the spring guide in, the latch down, and your spring guide and your spring will come out. I'm guessing that's pretty much just M100, M110, nothing bigger than that. So that's the first part. Now we're gonna move on. Okay, now all the screws are out, and then right here at the back, you take out your motor plate, the wires to your motor. There's the one, the black one goes in the back, and the red one's to the front. After that, you can just go ahead and pull off the whole top of your gearbox, set that to the side, and that fully exposes the inside of your gearbox and all the components. Now we're going to go over that. Okay, next part of the gearbox here, you got this whole upper assembly of the gearbox. You know, your cylinder head, piston, all that stuff, your air nozzle, your tappet plate. Well, you got the spring right here for your tappet plate. You just put something like a screwdriver right under that and lift up the spring until it comes off just like that, and then just take that whole assembly and move it over to the side, and we'll work with that in just a second. Okay, we got all the parts here. We got the piston, which is polycarb. Piston head. Looking over my piston, it looks decent. I'm gonna just wipe it off here. Got a little excess grease on it. Nothing much though. Piston actually looks in good shape for at least 10,000-15,000 rounds put through it. So that's good. Put that to the side. Piston head, of course, looks decent. O-ring looks okay. Definitely a lot of grease on that though. Okay, moving on. You got your cylinder. This is quite greasy on the outside. Just make sure you wipe all that off. And then moving on to your cylinder head. This looks okay. Thought it would have been a little bit more greasier, but you know, that's good. After that, you got your tappet plate. Tappet plate looks like it's in good shape. So now you're just gonna get some of your silicone oil and spray it on your O-rings right here. I don't suggest this for the grease, just this for like the piston. Just put a little bit up there. Not much though. Kind of rub it into place. Same thing with your cylinder head. Just put a little bit up there. Rub it into place. Now put it back together. You need to get your piston. Actually, you're going to get your cylinder head. Put that on first. Just like that. See, that's the tappet plate. Just put that right on. And then put your cylinder head. Push that right up there. And then just get your piston. Push that back in there. And that's all you really got to do for putting that back together. Okay, now we're moving on back to the gears, so I'm going to go ahead and start that. Okay, moving on here to the gearbox. We got to take the gears out now. We got your sector gear right here. This gear here is called the bevel gear. Your spur gear, which is all the way at the bottom right here. and then you got your anti-reversal latch right here. Okay, final piece here is just the you got the motor here, and the piece right here is the motor adjustment, and you got your spring and your pinion gear. So that's pretty much all you got to do here to disassemble. Now I'm gonna put it back together. Okay, once you've wiped off all the grease, before this was probably that whole little pin there was covered in grease. Now it's got just a really small amount. You can go ahead and put your spur gear back on. After you do that, you can get your motor, put that right back in. Okay, once you get your motor back in, you can go ahead and get your the anti-reversal latch and put that back into place. Okay, here's everything put back in the gearbox. Of course, I cleaned all the grease out. First, you put in your spur gear, and then after that, you put your anti-reversal latch and your motor, then your bevel gear, and then your sector gear, and then you can just drop the whole front assembly back in the gun, make sure everything's in there right, and then you get your little spring, you attach it to the tappet plate, and then from the tappet plate you attach it to the post. Should go on just like that, and then after that we're going to proceed to putting the shell back on the gearbox. Okay, now I've put the shell back on, everything's in place in the gearbox. All you got to do now, I'll re-show you because I just did it without video on. Basically, take your trigger switch. Of course, in my case mine's broken, but I'm going to be getting a new one soon. Start off by putting your wire through the hole right there, and then just pull it all the way through. Put your trigger switch in place, and I'm just going to start off by putting this one corner screw in, and then I'm going to pause the video because it's going to take forever. Okay, when I come back, all the screws are going to be in, and we're going to be plugging the motor back together, or plugging into the motor, the wires. Okay, now I got all the screws in. Now you're going to get your red wire right here. You're going to plug it into the front. If your air nozzle is facing to your right, like the nozzle's over here, so you see this part of the motor here, that's where the red wire goes. And then what I'm doing, I'm taking the black wire, kind of crossing it under the red wire, and then this goes around to the other side right here, and this plugs into the other end of the motor. And then last step, you get your spring. You got the hole right here. You put your spring in, you push the put that in, there you go, and then you get your spring guide. Push that all the way in. That spring loads into place. So now, in theory, your gearbox is ready to shoot. Now we're going to test fire it just to make sure before I end this video. Okay, here, wrapping up the video. I'm going to just hit the trigger switch, see if it works. Yeah, there you guys. You see I still have that trigger switch problem, so it's going to keep shooting. Okay, so everything works on the gearbox. That was my disassembly and reassembly of the gearbox. Next video is going to be the assembly of the gun itself. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe, comment, rate, and request. This is what you're looking at. I'm out.